And we are back for another custom track showcase. It has been like 3 weeks since the last one, and if you guys remember Disco Fever, that track got the most votes in the last video, I think like 73%. It wasn't even close, but like always you can vote for your favorite track after you've seen them all. In the description it's the straw poll link, and give this video a like if you want to see more custom track showcase. It really helps support the series. So here we go, we are on Lakeside Park. It is a GBA remake, and I always like to throw in a remake every episode because I really like remakes. It's nostalgic and they always really impress me, and this one is no different. It is fantastically remade. There's been quite a few versions of Lakeside Park made over the years, and what's so great about this one, besides it being pretty close to the original, is how the turns really cater to vehicles like the Spear, which have a difficult time a lot of times on custom tracks. So what I'm pretty much trying to say is it's scaled really well. And he also added a shortcut to the track because he took out the GBA one, the really large one you could bounce off one of the zippers, and he added this lake shortcut, and you can actually do it shroomless, as you saw me do it right there. It's pretty difficult though, so I normally recommend using a shroom unless you practice it a lot. And the next track here is Headlong Skyway, and Headlong Skyway was in CTGP a long time ago. It was the track with the bricks, like the red bricks, and it had the star shape with the circle around it, and it still has that design. However, it's a lot better to drive on now. They changed a lot of the turns, and it doesn't have that ugly brick texture on the ground anymore, which is relieving. But I should probably mention that I'm using Wreck-It Ralph. If you guys been following my channel, you probably saw that I made a custom character video, and Wreck-It Ralph was at the top of that video. He's my favorite custom character that has been created, and that's why I'm featuring him here. And I'm gonna have the link to that video in the description if you haven't seen it yet. But as you can see, there's actually item boxes that have the star symbol in them as well, but it's really cool you can do that. You can actually change the item boxes to different, you can add different designs in the middle and change the color of them. Very interesting. But some changes to Headlong Skyway. As you can see, it makes a lot more sense now. I think that's the best way to put it. It's not as glitchy, and the ramps are in better placements than before, making it less awkward to drive on. Plus, I mean, I can actually tell where I'm going. There was times on the old Headlong Skyway where I didn't even know where to go. But on this one, it's pretty self-explanatory. You don't really get lost like before. And it's got a wacky design. You go up these giant ramps, you go down these huge slopes, and I mean, when you're trying to incorporate a track where you're making a star and then a circle, like, the creators did a really good job of making it interesting, because just looking at the minimap, it looks like it'd be an extremely boring track, but it's not. It's actually very good. Now, Concord Town has been in CTGP for a long time, but it has gone through many versions, and you guys probably remember it from my 2013 Top 50 Custom Track video, where it placed in the 10 to 20 range, somewhere in the middle. But this is a newer version since then, and this is by far the best version of Concord Town. It resembles Delfino Square in many ways, and I think this track is the closest to a Nintendo track out of any custom track ever made that hasn't been a port. So this is like an original design, and it really feels like a Nintendo track. The length of the track is perfect, not too long or short, has plenty of routes and shortcuts. The scenery on the sides is not lacking in any way. It kind of brings you into its own little world, and that's what a lot of tracks fail to do, and this one does really well. The ramps are also really fun to trick off of, and that's obviously a bonus. And yeah, it's actually one of my favorite tracks still to this day, even though it's been out for a couple years now. The last track we have to feature here is Icepeak Mountain, a track that has quite a few issues, but I think if those issues were worked out, it'd be a really good track because it's so scenic, and it could definitely make it into CTGP. Now, the first one you probably saw right there is it lagged, and yeah, in 12-player races, it lags, and that's definitely a huge turnoff. Now, this cave area, super beautiful, but it's really jagged to drive on. Like, I actually was able to get out my wheelie here, but there's so many times where I'm trying to wheelie and it won't even work because of how bumpy it is. And yeah, these bridges, you don't stick to them, which is kind of weird. You just kind of fly over them. But this area is probably the big problem. You can't even figure out where to go if you're playing this for the first time. It took me like 2 or 3 tries to even figure out where to go, because it's all white and there's all these cataclacks and holes in the ground. It's super hazardous and not fun to drive on. The town section we just passed is great though. Really like that area. And you could do a terminal shortcut at the end here. I kind of didn't get enough air, but you could see the gist of how to do it. Now going back to this ice section, there's actually a shortcut. I don't know how much time it saves or if it's even useful, but it's pretty cool. You can bounce off all these houses right here, and you can go off the tops and make your way back on the track. It's a little awkward, as you can see, but it's cool nonetheless. But yeah, that was Icepeak Mountain, and once again in the description, rate your favorite track and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the series. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys later.